President Cyril Ramaphosa has issued a strong appeal to South Africa's youth ahead of the 4th of November local government elections, urging them to register and vote. The president says young people have the power to shape the country's future through the ballot box, stressing that local elections affect jobs, service delivery, infrastructure, and community development.
Continuously calling on our people that register, come out and vote in your millions, so that we can together take this country forward.
Will South Africa's youth answer the call, or will voter turnout remain low? Share your opinion in the comments. Like this video if you found it informative. Subscribe for the latest South African breaking news, politics, and current affairs. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update.
Mr. President, Veronica Makhwadi here from Newsroom Africa. I think first and foremost, as you've said, you're going to be spending some time with the young people, getting some new voters on that particular voters roll. This is, I think we've got less than an hour until the voter registrations close up for the day. What is your message to young people, apart from those that you're going to be engaging with here, those that are watching home? Why should they come out come the 4th of November? Another question that I have is, we know that you don't control your program, as you said, but there is a political strategy to come to Madibeng municipality. Tell us the reason why you chose the very last weekend to come to this particular municipality in the Northwest, which we know is somewhat of a strong ANC hold. But there's also some conversations we've had with supporters on the ground who are speaking about a movement, an organization that they love, but they feel very much let down by ward councillors, leadership, allegations of corruption, allegations of gatekeeping by community leaders who are supposed to serve them. Your response to just those allegations as well?
Well, we've always said that there are many challenges that we have to address at all levels of government, but more particularly at local government level. Because local government is the closest government structure to the people. The people want to see and have a sense that their councillors are working for them, they are serving them, and they want corruption to be rooted out. And as we now go towards choosing our councillors, we are going to be very careful to choose people who will show dedication, who will show integrity and honesty to be able to serve our people. So we are now going to really change things to ensure that people who get into those positions will be people who will be so dedicated in serving our people. That's why we're going through a long process, an elongated process of even choosing our mayors. And our people themselves on the ground are choosing the councillors that they want. And that process is also going to be resulting in recall. For those who don't serve our people well, they will be recalled, because the people on the ground are going to be the ones who have the last word. So I do firmly believe that there is now going to be a real change going forward, as we are now, even at government level, putting in structures to reform our local government processes. Now, we chose Madibeng because not only it's a stronghold of the ANC, because it's important that the message of registration should be spread around. Now, I'm not the only leader who is going around the country. There are many other leaders, members of the NEC, members of the provincial councils, who are today all over the country encouraging young people to come out and vote. And my message to young people, which was your first question, why should they come out and register and vote? I say it's important that they should be active. Our country has always moved from one era to the next, led by young people. In the 40s, it was young Nelson Mandela, young Walter Sisulu, young Oliver Tambo, who changed the course of the ANC. In the 50s, they led the boycott campaign, and in the 70s, it was young people who came forward to change the education system in our country. And now recently, it was young people who stood up and said, fees must fall. But they didn't only say that, they also said, roads must fall. addressing the issue of colonialism and the effects of colonialism and apartheid on our education.
Now, from rising cost of living, housing pressure, public safety and access to basic service delivery, these are the issues facing some residents in Cape Town communities. And these are the issues some say will be top of mind during the November local government elections. A total of 3 million people have registered in the Western Cape. Malungelo Boy joins us now from Salt River. Malungelo, no doubt that young people have voiced their own frustrations as well.
That's right, Nompumelelo. In fact, it's a litany of issues that will be driving people in the Western Cape, especially in Cape Town, to go and vote in the November elections. And some of the issues you've already mentioned were top of mind. In fact, from the people we spoke to yesterday, the issue of a rising cost of living here in Cape Town, public safety also coming out strongly, but also just access to basic services like having clean running water, clean streets, refuse collections. Those issues also came out strongly. We are in Salt River, Nompumelelo, which is just about 4 kilometers away from the central business district here in Cape Town. This area, this community is actually the heartbeat really of the textile industry here in the Western Cape, but it's also those communities, Nompumelelo, that's also being affected by gentrification, and that is actually increasing the cost of living, also housing, also pushing people out really of this particular area because of the high costs of rental. People here actually are saying that those then will be the issues that will be driving them to vote. But also one of the things, Nompumelelo, that came out from some of the people that we spoke to yesterday was the issue of safety. You would know that one of the things that has been a major issue here in the Western Cape, especially in Cape Town, is the issue of extortion and gang violence, right? Some people saying that they want authorities to deal with that particular issue. But I spoke to the IEC head here in the Western Cape as to how they were dealing with safety issues, especially in gang-infested areas. And this was his response to me yesterday.
We work very closely with the African Police Services. We sit on the provincial JOCs together with other law enforcement agencies and departments, etc., where together we receive obviously information with regard to the high-risk areas, medium timber, and then the police go about and actually then make their operational plan. So, you know, the South African Police has been great in terms of that support to us as the IEC and to the members of the public.
Nompumelelo, the Western Cape has about 5 million eligible voters, right? And about 3 million of those have already registered to vote. The question is, where's the other 2 million? And I suppose political parties then will continue to canvass as many of those that have not registered to vote so that they can register to vote today.
All right, Malungelo Boy, out in the Western Cape where various issues have been raised, and certainly that housing shortage as well being front and center of concerns by residents there.
Absolutely, Vuyo, not an easy time for the IDEC head. Even towards the end there, you did hear her basically indicating that because of the medication that she is taking, she would basically request that the commission wraps up its proceedings for the day. But she was willing to continue for a while longer, but we did hear the evidence leader saying that it's unfair to push you to these limits, so we can continue with the testimony tomorrow. But when it comes to the testimony that she gave Vuyo today, two main things basically stand out with regards to this particular testimony. The first being questions around that referral letter that was sent by the Member of Parliament, Mr. Fidel Adams, that basically triggered all of this investigation by IDEC into crime intelligence. The questions on whether the referral letter that the Commission has in front of it is the same referral letter that IDEC actually initially received received from Adams. There are two individuals who work within IDEC, one being Advocate Ramsamy as well as investigator Ramaphosa, both of them who have spoken to the evidence leaders, and they've indicated that the referral letter that the IDEC head Johnson brought to this commission is actually not the referral letter that they obtained from Adams last year. It's also unclear, it's still unclear whether it was received last year in November or they did receive it in January. But according to them, when they spoke to the evidence leaders, they are indicating that that referral letter that is being looked at and the one that was submitted actually to court is not the referral letter that was actually given to IDEC initially by Adams. So quite a lot of questions then. What does this mean? Is this a case of the IDEC head as well as the senior investigator Brian Padiachi, who appeared before this very commission, having misled this particular commission? And if so, what does it then also mean to the court cases that are ongoing with regards to crime intelligence head Dumisani Khumalo, as well as the others that were also arrested with him in matters being investigated by IDEC? Quite serious concerns there being raised. But the second issue, Vuyo, that was also raised today is with regards to the supplementary statements that were also taken from Mr. Adams. There are 4 statements that were produced and presented before this particular commission that seem to have been taken by the chief investigator, Dylan Perumal. Those are also now in question, with the 2 individuals that I mentioned earlier on, Ramsamy and Ramaphosa, also saying that it's untrue that those are the subsequent statements that we actually obtained from Mr. Adams. They are claiming that the ones that were actually taken from Mr. Adams are the ones that they have now submitted to the commission. So quite a lot of questions around whether the IDEC head as well as Perumal are misleading this particular commission. We did hear the IDEC head when asked if Perumal can then present himself before this very commission tomorrow morning to clarify some of these issues. She said that Perumal, according to her, had been admitted to hospital, and it's unclear whether he'll be able to appear before the commission. But let's take a listen to the exchanges between the evidence leaders as well as Ms. Johnson around this possible misleading of the commission.
There's an announcement that I must make. There is someone who disclosed the identity of a witness that testified anonymously. On the face of it, it appears that this was done deliberately. In terms of the Commissions Act and this Commission's regulations, it is a criminal offense to act in a manner, I'm paraphrasing, that prejudices the business of the Commission. Consequently, the Commission is going to institute criminal proceedings against that person. This is a matter that the Commission takes very seriously, and it simply must act in these circumstances.
The testimony that we will hear, and you indicated this earlier, that the 2 investigators and prosecutor, is it Advocate Ramsamy?
Correct, ma'am.
Advocate Ramsamy, Investigator Ramaphosa, Investigator Perumal went to Cape Town on the 6th of January. No, went to Cape Town. And on the 6th of January, obtained statements from Mr. Adams. I think 5 in total. And that all those statements were commissioned by Mr. Ramaphosa in the presence of the other 2 being Investigator Perumal himself and Advocate Ramsamy.
Correct.
And that what we have at CJC 394 are the actual statements taken on the day. And that the statements we have spent the last time working through, commissioned by Mr. Perumal, are a post-fact fabrication. Both witnesses disavow the validity of all these statements, that on the 6th of January, Mr. Perumal did not commission any statement. That's the evidence that we shall hear.
Okay.
And that they were all commissioned by Mr. Rapesu.
Both witnesses, they basically saying that the statements that have been provided by Perumal are inaccurate. But when Johnson asked about this question on whether Perumal submitted misrepresentations when it comes to those statements, she refused to basically commit on whether that was the case or not. But the first bite there that was played by the chairperson of the commission, Vuyo, indicating that there are concerns around the leaking of the identity of a witness that testified before this commission. And this is something that the commission takes very seriously. When you mentioned that, I might add, Vuyo, all of the journalists basically looking at each other, thinking it might be one of us that mistakenly did that, but the chairperson not indicating who that person might be, but also adding that they will be taking serious action because this is quite concerning. We did see one of the witnesses that was not named appearing in one of the precious stones cases that appeared in court. And at that particular court appearance, the name of that particular witness was mentioned. So quite concerning for the commission and the chairperson indicating that they will be dealing with this.